Have you ever wondered how the Philippines became the country it is today? From ancient trading ports and powerful kingdoms to colonial rule, war, dictatorship, democracy, and beyond, the history of the Philippines is one of resilience, revolution, and remarkable transformation. In this video, we'll take you on a journey across thousands of years, exploring the deep roots and powerful stories that shaped the Filipino identity. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the fascinating history of the Philippines. The earliest chapter of this story begins long before Spain or even Islam arrived. Archaeological evidence shows that the first humans reached the Philippine archipelago about 60,000 years ago. These early settlers likely came by boat or raft, bringing their culture and way of life. Over the millennia, these communities grew and formed larger settlements. Some eventually developed into what scholars consider early states, complex societies with their own political systems, trade, and culture. Around 4000 BC, Austronesians began arriving in successive waves. They brought with them advanced seafaring skills and Malayo-Polynesian languages. During the Neolithic period, a jade culture emerged, and by 1000 BC, society had evolved into four main types: tribal groups, warrior societies, small aristocracies, and coastal harbor civilizations that thrived on trade. Trade with India introduced metallurgy, and between 300 and 700 AD, the islanders began forming ties with the Indianized kingdoms of Southeast Asia. Buddhism and Hinduism left their marks through cultural exchange, architecture, and religious practices. Artifacts from this period, including gold, glass, and ear ornaments, showed that the Philippines was already part of a wider Asian trade network. The influence of Indian culture grew during the era of the Pallava and Gupta empires. This led to the formation of new local kingdoms that adopted Indian traditions in governance, religion, and society. One of the most significant artifacts of this era is the Laguna copperplate inscription, dated 900 AD. Written in Kawi script, it documents the forgiveness of a debt owed by Namwaran and his children, granted by the ruler of Tondo. It reflects a sophisticated pre-colonial society with established laws, mathematics, weights, and even astronomy. By the first millennium, various maritime communities dotted the archipelago. There was no unified political system. Instead, it was a tapestry of city-states and highland settlements, each with its own form of governance. These states often interacted with, or were influenced by, regional powers like the Majapahit Empire, the Ming Dynasty of China, and Brunei. Among these early states was Mai, centered in Mindoro. By 1225, Mai was thriving as a Buddhist trading state, engaging with merchants from the Ryukyu Kingdom and Japan. Chinese customs official Chao Jukua described the people of Mai as honest and well-organized traders. During the 1300s, parts of Luzon and the Sulu archipelago fell under the Majapahit Empire. But this domination was met with resistance. After the Battle of Manila in 1365, Luzon regained its independence, and Sulu followed suit by attacking Majapahit-controlled Brunei before being repelled. Islam arrived in 1380 with the Arab trader Makdum Karim, who introduced the faith to Sulu. Later, Sharif ul Hashim established the Sultanate of Sulu, after converting Raja Baginda. Meanwhile, Sharif Muhammad of Johor brought Islam to Mindanao, establishing the Sultanate of Maguindanao. Muslim missionaries and traders from the Middle East and Malay world continued to strengthen Islam's influence, just as Hindu and Buddhist cultures had done earlier. Brunei's secession from Majapahit led to the rise of the Brunei Sultanate, which further helped spread Islam by inviting Sharif Ali from Mecca to serve as sultan. Islam expanded through conquest, trade, and conversion of local rulers, deeply influencing Sulu and Mindanao. In 1521, the Spanish arrived, led by Portuguese-born Ferdinand Magellan. He landed on Homonhon Island and claimed the territory for Spain. Magellan allied with local chieftains like Raja Humabon and converted some to Catholicism, but his conquest was cut short when he was killed by Lapu-Lapu in the Battle of Mactan. Spain continued its efforts, and in 1543, the archipelago was named Las Islas Filipinas in honor of Prince Philip of Spain. In 1565, Miguel López de Legazpi established the first permanent Spanish settlement in Cebu. He expanded Spanish control using diplomacy and military strength, including the annexation of the Kingdom of Tondo. Manila became the capital of the Spanish East Indies. In 1578, the Castilian War erupted between Christian Spaniards and Muslim Bruneians. Both sides had diverse armies. Spain enlisted Native Americans from Mexico and South America, while the Muslim side had support from the Ottomans, Malays, Turks, and Africans. Though the war ended in a stalemate, it marked the start of Spain's serious push for dominance. Within 2 decades, Catholicism had spread across much of Luzon and Visayas. Churches and monasteries were built, and more locals converted. Spanish and Mexican families settled in the region, strengthening colonial society. The Philippines, for the first time, had a unified political identity under Spanish rule. It gained universities, legal systems, and connections to global trade. Initially governed from Mexico via the Viceroyalty of New Spain, the Philippines later came under direct rule from Spain. Resistance to Spanish oppression continued through revolts and uprisings. The Philippine Revolution eventually erupted in the late 19th century. After Spain lost the Spanish-American War in 1898, the Philippines became a U.S. territory. Although the first Philippine Republic under Emilio Aguinaldo was declared in 1899, it was soon crushed by American forces. The U.S. established a civil government and promised eventual independence. In 1935, the Philippine Commonwealth was created as a transitional administration. However, before independence could be fully realized, World War II broke out. In 1942, Japan invaded the Philippines. It was a dark chapter in the nation's history. The Battle of Manila in 1945 destroyed much of the city, but with the help of the U.S., the Philippines was liberated. True independence was granted on July 4, 1946, under the Treaty of Manila. Manuel Roxas became the first president of the newly established Republic of the Philippines. His term was short-lived as he died of a heart attack in 1948. He was succeeded by Elpidio Quirino, who led the country until 1953. These post-war years were focused on reconstruction and quelling communist insurgencies. In 1965, Ferdinand Marcos was elected president. His rule lasted until 1986 and included the declaration of martial law in 1972. Under martial law, political dissent was silenced, media was censored, and human rights were violated. Corruption and cronyism worsened economic inequality, even as infrastructure projects grew. The assassination of opposition leader Benigno Aquino Jr. in 1983 sparked massive protests. The People Power Revolution in 1986 finally ended Marcos's dictatorship. Corazon Aquino, widow of the slain leader, became the next president and restored democracy. Her administration faced coup attempts and economic hardships, but democracy held firm. The 1990s saw continued democratic consolidation under Presidents Fidel Ramos and Joseph Estrada, though Estrada was impeached in 2001 over corruption. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo took over and ruled until 2010. Her presidency was marked by economic growth but also controversies and accusations of electoral fraud. In 2010, Benigno Noynoy Aquino III was elected president. Under his leadership, the Philippines experienced steady economic expansion and anti-corruption reforms. The country won a landmark legal case against China in 2016 over the South China Sea, although enforcement remained an issue. Rodrigo Duterte's presidency began in 2016 with a focus on law and order. His war on drugs drew both local support and international condemnation due to human rights concerns. Duterte also pivoted Philippine foreign policy closer to China, while maintaining ties with the U.S. and other allies. By 2020, the Philippines, like the rest of the world, faced an unprecedented challenge with the outbreak of COVID-19. Lockdowns, quarantines, and travel bans disrupted daily life. The government implemented health and social assistance programs, but the pandemic exposed the vulnerabilities in healthcare, labor, and infrastructure systems. Despite these challenges, the Filipino spirit of bayanihan, communal unity, and cooperation remained strong. Frontliners, volunteers, and ordinary citizens rose to the occasion, helping one another survive the hardest periods of the pandemic. The journey of the Philippines from ancient seafaring settlements to a modern democratic republic is a story of resilience, courage, and unwavering hope. Each chapter, from colonialism to revolution, dictatorship to democracy, shaped the nation into what it is today. A proud, diverse, and enduring country with a rich cultural heritage and an unbreakable spirit. If you found this journey through history inspiring and informative, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out our other videos for more amazing stories from the past and present.